Salute, salute. Welcome to the Real Buzz. CT, got my man Divine from Knicks Real Talk. Salute. We're going to be recapping the Milwaukee big win. We're also going to be talking about the preview against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to be talking about the key stats, our predictions against the Cavs, and of course some league news. But how you doing, Divine?
I'm doing good, CT. I'm good to be glad to be here, man. We here talking Knicks tonight. Break down some league, get into it, man. Knicks Real Talk, the CT, the Streets of Buzzing, the Real Buzz. And there you have it. That's the Real Buzz. That's the new name of the thing, the Real Buzz. And we're just going to bring y'all some good Knick content today and other content. I'm glad to be here, glad to get this video going. So for all you out there listening, like and subscribe. Knicks Real Talk, the Streets of Buzzing, the Real Buzz. Let's go, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Without further ado, let's quickly recap the huge win in Milwaukee in the Deer District. The New York Knicks went in there and ran amok, 113-98. Divine, I'm still on a high. National TV, I'm seeing a lot of attention the New York Knicks are getting. Now that you've had a chance to sleep on it, what's your thoughts at the moment on this big win?
You know, nothing haven't changed. I still feel so good about it. Great win, big win for us. We really needed to do this, and it was an important game for us just to show our resiliency as a team and our character of our team and how we can, go down and get back up and come back and get back at it, get back to basically playing New York Knicks basketball. And they did it, and I was happy about it. And it was a good game all around. Glad to see a lot of guys get off the snide. Like Quickly had a decent game. I'm glad to see him get back in there. Randall was phenomenal. RJ was RJ, and it was just a good win overall, man. Good team win. Some people don't realize when I mean how important a win could be for an organization. I think this win right here was a big win for the organization because I let them guys know that, you know what, this is what we're going to take. This is what it's going to take to get to where we got to go. Just what they showed us, the other night, CT. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, it was a big team win. I think backs against the wall. What's down 20 or so in the first quarter, to rally back from that also shows a lot of heart and a lot of belief for this team that they can overcome any deficit, let alone against the reigning NBA champions as well. We know they were out missing a lot of players with Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton out. However, they still have more than enough talent, to make it a very, very tough game. And I'm glad the New York Knicks came in there and made their statement. It was a 15-point win. It was a blowout in the end. It wasn't just a get over the line win. We absolutely blew past them in that fourth quarter, and I think we took their heart out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you know what was interesting about that, man? The way we started, CT, we started off slow. We let them get the lead, and we didn't have our feet on solid ground at the time. But what they did, they just kept scrapping and kept clawing, play by play. Defense stopped, turned into offense. They got out there, got the ball up and down the court. I was happy to see the transition they was putting out there, getting that pace up, picking the pace up, making the game get faster. So I think it helped them as well because, when they got a pace going, man, they got guys out there who run the floor like RJ and Randall and these guys can get up and down the floor. That was good to see. So I think that was a real pivotal on the way we closed that out because of the way they started running up and down that court and they got back in it. They wasn't stuck in cement. They just was moving around and letting the game flow. And I think it was so important. And that was a really big take from that game, is the way they started running up and down that floor and getting out there. I was happy about that for sure.
Yep. Obviously a lot of notable performers, a lot of heroes from the game. Derrick Rose comes to mind first and foremost. He led the charge, from the second quarter onwards. He said, we're not going to lose this game. He started getting aggressive, taking it to the cup. Milwaukee got in foul trouble as well. And also RJ Barrett continues on his tear of the last 5 games as well, scoring 20-plus points, looking like a most improved player candidate as well. So what did you think of the most notable performers from the game?
Oh man, I definitely had to say Derrick Rose was one of them. Derrick Rose just was special that night. When we was down, when our wheel was down a little bit, Derrick Rose just brought that wheel right back up to another level. He willed them guys to get back to that game by the way he was playing. And they followed suit. That when Derrick Rose picked it up, them cats followed, and then Randall started doing what he was doing which was great because he really started popping early. So it got him into a good flow. They just couldn't get over the hump defensively. But when that defense settled down, Derrick Rose to me was the one that really catapulted them guys to get to where they at in the game, which is where they wind up winning by a long margin. I meant to say, excuse me. So yeah, I think it was great that the way that was my guy, man. He really came up there, stepped up. A vintage dude. I don't want to say vintage. I mean, just a more older, wiser ball player. He's been through the grit and grind, the ups and downs of the NBA and the rigor mortis and all that stuff because of injuries. But he kept his mind, his body right, and it's showing. And last night, it really showed. He really did this thing the other night, man. I was great to see that.
Yeah, and also the best thing moving forward for the New York Knicks, I feel, is that there's no expectation on either point guard to carry the load. It's a shared thing right now. Kemba Walker starts, Derrick Rose can finish the deal. That's what he did, and also Kemba's at a point in his career where I think he's comfortable with coming in, starting, and if he doesn't finish the game out, he's fine with that. And of course, RJ Barrett, if he can be that solid number 1, number 2 option every single night, he's showing this consistency. That's just going to help Julius Randle out. Julius only played 33 minutes, which was really, really notable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as this team starts to gel and play harder and play more and get more chemistry and camaraderie, it's going to be special. Because I just think they just haven't scratched the surface to me. I mean, like you said, we've been doing this thing without key players not being able to give us what they had at the time because they just wasn't the ball wasn't falling for them or they just wasn't ready at this time of the year because it's early and they might have took them a little longer than expected. But to see Emmanuel quickly come around, get back on, seem like a game that might catapult him to a better season, get out of that little sophomore slump, what they will call it, and to play a game like that and be a big part of it to help us win the game, to get us to where we were at so we can win the game. That was huge for him, So yeah, with the emergence of RJ Barrett, though, I think once that young man keep doing what he's doing, the Knicks going to be a problem, I believe. I just believe this guy. I was reading a quote from him and CT that he had in the New York Post about question and answer about everything, and the way he was breaking it down. Man, this kid is determined not to fail. He's determined not to fail. So RJ Barrett, he's coming to his own. So I'm really happy to see that, man. I think this man is going to be the next big thing in New York for sure. I believe that he's going to be the next big thing because that man is putting his work in for sure.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, it was the second game back from injury from Nerlens Noel. Really, really notable performance because he played, quite heavy minutes. Mitch didn't quite have it going. However, Nerlens came in and did what he did from us last season. Disruptive on the pick and roll D, blocking shots, rebounding, was just all hustle performance from Nerlens Noel. And as he gets his feet wet, I'm looking forward to seeing just how much of an impact he can have on our defense.
Yeah, absolutely. That twin tower situation we got at that center spot is good, man. And he was a big part of that. You could see what he did when he came in the game, and I think we spoke about that on previous podcasts and everything. Like, what that man can do for that second unit is going to be huge for us. It really is. It's going to be huge just to have that defense presence. That he's a hustler. He got a little game to him offensively enough to add to that second unit. I think Nerlens Wells can get you 8 points a game probably in that center spot in the backup with maybe a couple of blocks a game, and that's not even starting, But in them valuable minutes that he getting roughly 24, like Mitch, whatever the case may be, split them minutes in half. I think you can get some good production out of both of them guys down there, man. And it's great to have Nerlens Wells there playing that backup center spot right now. To Mitch, when Mitch get back in shape, get on his feet, they'll be stronger. But that's a good duel to have down in New York down there with them two guys, man. 2 7-footers who are athletic like that, block shots like that, and can play defense like that. That to me, that was so pivotal in that game last night. That to me, with Nerlens Noel, was one of the main reasons that we got back in that game and pretty much pulled it out was because of him. So I think that with him near, man, it was awesome. He had a great game, and I'm glad that he came back in the nick of time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it. Takes this defense to the next level, I think, and we will continue to see a huge impact from Nerlens Noel. So yeah, that sort of is a quick recap on the Milwaukee game. It was a huge win, like we said. Let's look ahead now to the Cleveland Cavaliers matchup, the first of a back-to-back coming up. We'll touch on lineups as well. But with that said, the Cleveland Cavaliers record is 6-4. 6-4. I'll pull that up now. So 6-4. It's obviously it's a drastically changed roster from past season. They bring in rookie Evan Mobley, Colin Sexton, Kevin Love may be out with COVID protocols. Ricky Rubio, a steady vet point guard, comes in. Lauri Markkanen also came over in a trade. So Lauri will be out due to protocol as well. They got Jared Allen, young up-and-coming center. Their sophomore Isaac Okoro, Jetty Osman, Denzel Valentine, Dean Wade, Lamar Stevens as well. So the Cavs have surprised a few people. Divine 6-4. What's been your overall thoughts from what you've seen of Cleveland?
You know what? Young, a lot of good young talent down there. Athletic. They got a good young team there. Got a veteran like Ricky Rubio. Jared Allen is playing good basketball for them, and I think and Kevin Love is there. So they got a nice team down there, man. They nobody probably expected them to be where they at, but I think Evan Mobley is up and coming. That young man could really play some ball for a rookie, man. Played the paint well, played the guard the defense down there well, athletic. He got a nice game to him. He's one of the better rookies that came in the league so far this year. So I think you got to tip your hat to them. And he's 6'11", playing a power forward. You know what I mean? So and obviously Carlos Sexton is Carlos Sexton. You know what I mean? Good young point guard. Been in the league 4 or 5 years. He can get it too. He can get buckets. He really can put the ball in the hole. And Kevin Love, obviously, Kevin Love is Kevin Love, a veteran. Won a championship, one of the better power forward that's been in the game at that position, man. That Cavs a double machine when in his prime. So he still know how to play basketball. So that's good to have him there. Obviously, Ricky Rubio so they got a good team, man. Ricky Rubio is a seasoned veteran, been around, but he's a real coming out of Spain, savvy dude. Am I mistaken? Spain, he can play basketball. He's a real good. Got a good IQ for the game, and so they got a good team. Lauri Markkanen is a young, good power forward. Been in the league 4 or 5 years. They ready, man. Jared Allen, they got a good thing. Isaac Okoro, C.D. Osman, them guys can play, man. So I'm really looking forward there with Garland Sexton, and I think and obviously we know Love and Markkanen won't be there, CT. So, but they got a good roster, man, and I think they did pretty good this year. I'm surprised what the Cavs did. I didn't think they were going to be formulate this roster the way they did. And I think that was real interesting the way they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are coming in off a 3-game winning streak as well, which is quite notable. They most recently won against the Portland Trailblazers, 107-104, close win there. The game prior to that, they beat the Charlotte Hornets, 113-110. So yeah, they are in good form right now. It's going to be a really good matchup for this New York Knicks squad. We know we haven't had much success playing opponents below us. However, I think they will be taking this team quite seriously, Divine, as we look closely at the matchups. Obviously, with Markkanen healthy, they are a big lineup. However, Jared Allen's still there, and Evan Mobley's still there. So how do you see the New York Knicks matching up and combating the Cleveland Bigs?
You know what? I think we try to beat them on the perimeter a little bit more. So I think our 3-point shooting got to be good. Not saying if I think about 3-point shooting good that night, then we can combat that because Julius Randle can bring them guys out there. And Evan Fournier could bring them guys out there. Like if he could bring them guys out there, so that kind of opens it up a little bit, and we don't have to deal with their height so much, and just leaving Jared Allen to deal with Mitchell Robinson, basically. And you just got to bring Mobley and them out there. You got to let whoever their small forward is, RJ Barrett, got to bring him out there and then play downhill. Play downhill, but to bring them boys out there and make them chase you a little bit. So I think if they could do that, and I think we'd be all right. If Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier can hold down that guard spot, I think we'd be all right, though.
Yeah. I see Nerlens Noel again playing a big key, but he is obviously a bit underweight going up against the Jared Allen. So we'll traditionally see Mitchell Robinson get that first matchup against that, and that's going to decide the game. I think that's going to be key. Because, yeah, they do have some talent on the perimeter. However, they match up pretty well against us. Colin Sexton and Garland are pretty undersized guards, so I don't think Derrick Rose or Kemba Walker will have any issues with them. RJ Barrett, another big name to note. RJ Barrett on a tear at the moment. I don't really see too many players that they have that's going to be able to handle RJ. I think probably Isaac Okoro might get that first look. So that's a key matchup, Divine. RJ Barrett.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be a good test for both of them. Okoro is a good, solid defense ball player. He plays good defense, brings a lot of energy, but he plays good defense, and his offense is starting to come around. So more than it was last year. So that's a good matchup for RJ. They both pretty much been in the league about the same time. And they both are important to their team. So I think RJ though, he's showing improvement right now. I think he's just on a mission, so that's going to be a good test for him. But I think RJ is going to come out of that pretty well, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So with that, let's touch on our predictions versus the Cavs. Obviously any Eastern matchup is pretty important, Divine. So, with the Cavs quite behind, close behind us, like we say, 6-4, we're 6-3. So, and obviously the fact that we play Philly the next night as well. So this is really, really pivotal. Coming off that huge win against Milwaukee, it's really pivotal. The Knicks get this win and go 7-3. For me, I can see us playing, more intensity at MSG. Back home, we've obviously lost the last couple at MSG, and I think we're going to be taking this matchup quite seriously. So I'm expecting us to win by about between 5 to 10 points. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I second that. Just getting back at home, man, getting at home cooking, getting in your own bed, not being on the road. It's a good feeling to have coming off a win like that. You know what I mean? Coming off a win like, in Milwaukee, now you get to go home and share with your fan base, at the next game and momentum. You know what I mean? You bring that momentum in there. It's MSG. You know what I mean? It's a good Sunday game, man. 6:00 game. The fans gonna be into it. Football Sunday, Knicks basketball. You can't get no better than that. But I do think we go in there and do what we do best and just play Knicks basketball for 48 minutes. Bring the defense to the forefront and guard these guys and just play Knicks basketball. And we walk out of there. We wound up to 7-3. That'd be awesome. So I'm looking forward for. I think the Knicks know what they're up against, what they want to do. You can't take this team for granted because they are really a well put together team. That's a better team than people give them credit for. So you can't take nobody lightly. Don't play down to the competition and just go and do what you do best and bring that same energy like you did in 3 quarters in Milwaukee. You know what I mean, or 2.5 quarters that you did in Milwaukee. Get the Madison Square Garden buzzing and just go down there and do what you do best. And I think we walk out of there 7-3, man, and what a wonderful way to start the season in the first 10 games for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. We all know I'd sign up for that. Given the couple bad losses, 7-3 solid to be 4 games over 500 this early in the season, while we're just still trying to get everything together. Injuries aside, having Nerlens back, Kemba Walker getting his feet wet with the Knicks, Evan Fournier. It takes time for these new pieces, Divine. I think a lot of the fan base was quite critical. When we obviously lost against Indiana, they weren't happy with the intensity, the defense, and that. I think the first 10, 15, 20 games are still early in the season, and it's about figuring out your weaknesses and trying to improve on them.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we have to do. We just have to stick to the game plan, man. Stick to the game plan, CT, and Tibb giving us the game plan. He giving us the blueprint. He gave us the blueprint last year to how to do this thing, and we just got to stick to it. Stick to the basics. Do what Tibbs instilled in you guys during the off season, through training camp. The game plan that he wanted y'all to play with this year, and I just go execute it at the highest level. And I think if we do that, then I think we're gonna be fine. I really do. We just got to execute at the highest level and learn off the previous couple of games that we can't take nobody for granted. Every team is good. Go in there and play New York Knicks basketball for 48 minutes on the defense side and shoot the ball. It's basketball is simple, and I think once they try to refine it to where they need it to be, I think we good. So I'm excited about the next up and coming games, man. That we got coming on, but I do think we go in there against the Cavs and handle our business for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Back at MSG, I feel like the Knicks will get that dub as well. They'll be on a high, especially after beating Milwaukee. It'll galvanize the squad, I think, and they know it's tough heading into a back-to-back. The first leg of that, they won't be looking past Cavs, I think, and looking at Philly. They'll be looking at both games as a whole, saying, hey, we can get out of this back-to-back and win both. Then we're really set up for success, So, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm ready to go with this thing, man. Let's get to this 7-3. Let's get to 7-3. And then we got a back-to-back going right there. And we'll touch on that. We got a back-to-back going into Philadelphia. So we got to go in there and get the Cavs to business, man. We really do. We got to go in there and try to get this game like we did in Milwaukee, out of reach, where you can rest them guys for the next day. You know what I mean? Because we getting right back on that bus or plane or train, whichever way they taking. We going down there to play the Sixers. So we got to make sure that we come in there and just bring our A game tomorrow. Now the season starts tomorrow. So this is your first back-to-back. And then the next 4 games, and we go over that, man. Over that, man. The Knicks got all opponents they playing is right there, and they rolling with them in a 1-4. I mean, they got Philly there again. They just played Indiana. They got to play them again. So they got Charlotte. Everybody, some of them guys is up there. So it's going to be a big test for us. But we got Milwaukee coming back at the Garden again. So we got to be ready. And I think it starts tomorrow, man. We start tomorrow with this win in Cleveland. I mean, in my MSG, if we could beat Cleveland tomorrow and feeling good going down to Philly, then I think we might say we might get a chance to say now we lost 2, we won 2. Now we might get started a winning streak. So if we can go down there and beat Philly, then we might say, okay, now we got Milwaukee coming back to the Garden, and then we go into Charlotte. It's easy if they play the way they played the other night. That might catapult them to almost going 5-0 for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hit on the next segment, which is some stats, key stats, Divine, that you want to touch on about this season so far.
Yeah, absolutely. First, let's I'm gonna go around the NBA and real quick and give out some scores on that. And the Nuggets won the day. They beat the Rockets by 1. Jokic with a block shot with like 1.1 second left or something like that. So they won that game. 76ers is beating the Bulls by 9 with 4:59 left in the third quarter. Good game there. That's important for the Knicks either way. Then we chasing both of them by 1 game. So I think that'd be awesome. Hopefully we let the Bulls win because Philly's in our division. So they could play, but right now it don't look that way. It's 9 down for the Bulls. The Jazz and the Heat. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Heat up 13. I thought Jazz was coming in and play a little harder than that, but and the Heat played a good game so far, and they up 13. Celtics in the here's a good one for us guys. Mavericks and the Celtics. Mavericks 57, Celtics 40 at halftime, losing by 17. That's good for us there. Then you got the Suns and the Lakers. Suns and the Hawks tonight in Phoenix. It's another good one for us to keep an eye on tonight. Then the Lakers and the Trailblazers. So I say that to say that, man. From a NBA stat standpoint, them some must-win, must-lose games for them guys in that division. Because if we win, we go up a game on a lot of them guys. That's important. Now we start to jockey for position early. So we know time we get to Christmas, we want to be in top in the division, at least right around near with Brooklyn and Philly. We got to take these things for where they are and let the other team beat each other up, and we just win our games. And I think if that happens, I think we'll be right where we want to be. So the Knicks just got to keep doing it. And then, before as that, we looking at the top of the NBA, man, and there's some guys out there doing their thing. Let's look at points per game. You got Kevin Garnett, 28 points a game, 0.3. Paul George, 27.9. Giannis 27.1. This is top 1, 2, 3. The road to number 4 in the Eastern scoring at 27 a game. Steph Curry is 25.8 a game, and Zach LaVine is 25.8 a game. So them your point leaders in the NBA. For the top 5 rebounders, you got Rudy Gobert 17.3, number 1. We got Jonas Valanciunas 14.2. He's the number 2 rebounder in the association. Then we got Nikola Jokic at 13.4, number 3. Bam Adebayo, 12.9 rebound a game. He's 4th in the league. And then Christian Wood is 12.5 in association. And he's 5th in the league in rebounding. And obviously Chris Paul is number 1 in assists per game, 12 points, 12 assists a game. Trae Young 9.2 a game. James Harden 9.0 a game. Damian Lillard 8.8 a game, and Devontae Murray 8.2 assists per game. Then your top 5 assist leaders in the association around the league. Then we got the field goal percentage. Rudy Gobert 73.6. He's number 1. Jared Allen 71.4. He's number 2. We got JaVale McGee 69.8, number 3. Rashawn Holmes 69.0 percentage in field goal. And LaMarcus Aldridge, what a surprise, 65.7 field goal percentage. That's your top 5 in the league in the field goal percentage. Then we're going to move on to the three-pointers made. Buddy Hield, number 1, 40%. Steph Curry, 39 trays. He's number 2. CJ McCollum, 38 trays. He's number 3. Carmelo Anthony, what a surprise, 32 three-pointers, 4th in association for the Lakers. And Devontae Graham, 32 for the New Orleans Pelicans. What a surprise, Carmelo Anthony. I hear you, my brother, keep going. 3-point percentage in association, CT. We got Eric Gordon, 54.8, number 1. Steph Curry, 52.9, number 3. number 2. DJ Augustine, number 3 at 52.9. Carmelo Anthony, 52.5 is number 4. And Joe Ingles is shooting at 51%. Is 5th in association at 3-point percentage. And then we move on over to the last but not least, and the block shots per game. Al Horford, 3.0. Miles Turner, 2.7. Anthony Davis, 2.3 a game. Robert Williams from the Celtics, 2.1. And Mo Bamba, 2.1 per game in association. And steals per game, Gary Trent Jr., 3.1. Paul George, 3.0. Jimmy Butler, 2.6. Alex Caruso, 2.5. And Chris Paul, 2.4 CT. And them your stats for all what's going around on the association for the top leaders in the association, man. And you got a good group there. And so we have to just hope our guys can eventually get up in there with them guys. But that's the association, man. That's what's going on in the league. No, I don't see no Knicks and no top numbers there, but we winning though. So that's a good thing. And then, we can go to the standings right quick. Let me break down the standings for you guys. And then we'll get back at it. We got the 76ers at 7-2, number 1 in the East. We have the Heat 6-2, number 2 in the East. The Bulls 6-2, number 3 in the East. The Nets 6-3, number 4 in the East. The New York Knicks 6-3, number 5 in the East. The Wizards is 6 in the East at 6-3. Cavaliers 6-4, number 7. 8 in the East is 6-4. The Raptors, number 9. The Charlotte Hornets 5-5. The Bucks is 4-5. They number 10 in the league in association in the East. And number 11 is Atlanta Hawks, 4-5. We got the Celtics 4-5. Number 12, Pacers at 3-7. Number 13, Magic 2-8. Number 14, and the Detroit Pistons 1-8. Number 15. That's the Eastern Conference standings. In the Knicks is number 5 there, so we're looking good there, man. But that's the Eastern Conference standings, guys. Who want to know what the team and that's not counting today's games. This is just based off of everything that happened before action kicked in today. We'll bring that on another day with the follow-up. So,
yep. Yeah, no, great insight, great stats. With the East, we know it's going to be a dogfight, Divine. Like every single game, there's going to be positional switching based on these heavy matchups with all these teams. And I think it's important the New York Knicks, obviously we're doing really well against the Eastern Conference teams, having beaten Chicago, Philly, beaten Boston, and also beaten Milwaukee now. The other matchups, obviously, we want to take care of Philly again, but we want to beat Miami and we want to beat Atlanta. and then we'll really be looking good for those tiebreakers, because that, that's going to come back and be really important towards the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and it's important now that we start jockeying for position. It's really important that we start get jockeying for position, man. It's that time now. The NBA is in gear. 10 games now. Everybody's settled in. You know what I mean? You pretty much know who you're going to be for the next 30, 40 games. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. So now, it's go time now. And we passed the 10 games of the season now. Like I said, them guys done got the rust off of them. And they know what's going on for the season, so they're just gonna go in there and get it. And it's gonna be a fun, exciting year in the NBA. It really is. I think the NBA is gonna be a real exciting year, man. You got a lot of parity, a lot of good teams in there. Everybody got better in the East and the West. They still got some of the better players in the league out there, but the East is tough, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting, man. So buckle up. And for the Knicks fan, we strapped in. It's gonna be a beautiful ride. The NBA is popping off this year, man. I think it's gonna be special coming off that year of COVID, and we had to kind of get our legs back under us as a country. But now that we things got back to normal almost, and I think basketball is exciting, man. I think the NBA it was gonna be really crazy this year, and I thought the Knicks is up in the mix, so I'm happy about that.
Yep, we talked prior to the season about how many national games the New York Knicks had. 29 or something, including NBA TV. So it's going quite well so far. Our opening night, clash against Boston, beating Milwaukee last night on national TV, taking care of Chicago on national TV. We're 3-0 on national TV, Divine. So that's great for the buzz.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's real talk, man. I can't be more excited with when the Knicks is doing good, the NBA is on fire. And everybody know that when the Knicks is playing, when the New York is buzzing with basketball, and the NBA always gonna have a live and good year, because the Knicks is like the epicenter of this stuff, man. You know what I mean? That's the Mecca. You know what I mean? And when the Mecca is buzzing with good basketball, and the Knicks is winning, the city's on buzz. You know what I mean? And that's really great to see. So it's gonna be a fun ride, man. But we ready though. The Knicks is ready. I think they only going to get better. Right now, you could truly say that, if I'm not mistaken, all their players is back. The Knicks whole roster's there. With Noel coming back, we got all 15 players. You know what I mean? And hopefully we can stay relatively healthy, and we start to gel now as we get deeper into the season. You're going to see what you've seen last night. I always said, once quickly start going, Alex Burks get off the stride, that, and Kemba Walker get in a regular rhythm, and he good, and Fournier get acclimated to what we're doing. You watch about halfway the season, man. I really think these cats gonna be on it. I really believe that. So we got a good leader in Tibbs leading the way, man. So, and Johnny Bryant, them guys. So let's go get it.
Yep. And you touched on the consistency. So RJ Barrett is approaching his 100th straight NBA game without missing a game. So Iron Man Barrett, what more could you want out of a 21-year-old when some of his counterpart colleagues are missing games right now? He's on the up, and he's playing every single night. So a lot to look forward to, Divine, for New York Knicks fans and our future success. It's not always about this season. It's about what is this season showing us that's going to reflect well on the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, for me, we got the infrastructure there, and that's important. You know what I mean? And RJ Barrett is a part of that. You know what I mean? He's a part of that thing that's going to help get us to where we got to go. You know what I mean? And we really got a good thing in that young man. He's a hard, dedicated basketball, I want to get better type of guy. No nonsense. He's striving for. He want to be great. He's destined to get there. You know what I mean? And like I said, a kid is hungry. He go hard. He's motivated. Them the characteristics of a person that you want as a basketball player. You want cats who got that same type of drive, the will, the hard work, and knowing that the proof is in the work. You put your work in, you see the proof of it. It'll translate on the court. And had to have that young man at a Knicks third year, about to come into his own, 21 years old, just scratching the surface. Man, listen. That makes me feel good about what we as an organization, and knowing what Julius Randle and the pieces we got around them guys. I think there's gonna be a good team, man. And he's gonna be one of them guys that's leading the way. Because like you said, he done got, I don't want to say disrespect or whatever, but they played him so many times and left him off the NBA All Rookie team. You can't be serious. You know what I mean? Under the top 25. You telling the man that he's not under 25 players. He's not in the top 100. I bet you they got to rewrite that. You know what I mean? It just, so I think he hears all that noise. And I think he's taking it personal. I think he said, I'm going to show these cats who I am, that I'm RJ Barrett. And I just think that's where he on. So it's good to have somebody who got drive like that on your organization, because that means, they come to work every day wanting to win and want to be better. You can't ask for a better young man than that right there.
Yep. Yeah, indeed. We are lucky to have RJ Barrett. And also, the New York Knicks have had a 360 culture shift, right? Just to touch on quickly around the league about the issues going on. Seems like every team has an issue, Divine. Portland Trailblazers being investigated, Phoenix Suns getting investigated, protocols, other issues. The New York Knicks, what a culture shift. It's just great to only talk about basketball with the New York Knicks right now. Talking to you about the action, not about off-court stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. What they say, winning cures all. Winning cures all, and you know what? You got right people in the right place. You know what I mean? Like I said, you brought the right people in there, and then I always say, man, it goes back to when you brought Scott Perry in there. You brought somebody who knew how to run a organization from his standpoint of being a general manager. That's his title, a general manager. And to manage the New York Knicks in New York City with everything going around that is tough. But they brought the right man in here, man. And I think then you brought in Leon Rose. You gave him the helm. He retained Perry. You brought in Worldwide West. You brought in all these great minds, people who know basketball. They know people. They know how to conduct themselves a certain way. And I think they brought that culture to the organization. I mean, we just needed some culture. That's all we needed. We needed some culture to come in there, some business-minded professionals who got love for the game of basketball and believe in basketball, not just the Knicks and basketball. These guys have been doing this their whole life. We got guys who truly took the game of basketball serious and instilled it into that organization. And I just think it set us up now. So, that's why you don't hear nobody talking like crazy stuff like about Dolan and all this nonsense. The tabloids acting wild because there ain't nothing to talk about negative. There's no reason nobody talk about it negative right now. They playing good basketball, the organization in a good place. And so, I think that's great to be one of the teams that you don't hear all that about, much as we used to be that one back in the day, the punching bag per se.
Yeah, I think those punchlines are slowly going.
Mm-hmm.
The Bing Bong thing, obviously that was a little experiment. I don't know if that's going to continue, but what are your thoughts just on that Bing Bong concept?
Man, you know what? I haven't thought about it that much as a fan. Haven't thought about what is it going to pop or is it not going to pop. I hope it pop for the sake of the, for the young man who created it. I hope they giving him some royalty, giving his props for coming up with it. That's one thing I'd be happy with. I love to see it making because somebody prospered off it and got and got a little reward for bringing up a cool slogan that the Knicks fans can get into. So I don't have a problem with it from that standpoint. I'm a Knicks man, and I think we one of the sexiest organizations out there when it comes to the brand and stuff. So I ain't too worried about that. But I'm glad they caught him opening night out the Garden, and it happened like that. So that's pretty interesting. The guy who created it.
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been the Real Buzz, Divine Knicks Real Talk, CT, Streets of Buzzin'. Is there anything else you wanted to chop up? That's taken your attention so far this season.
Just the resiliency and the passion that's going on for the Knicks right now. Our shows be popping. We had the fans up in there, man. We had the chat up in there when we doing our live shows. And Nick Buzz is all over the place. It's all over. All the content creators out there. As Knicks fans is really, really psyched this year, and all the content creators are getting the time to get their people on these shows and just talk Knicks. And the buzz is out there. And I'm excited to be a part of this thing, man. It's a beautiful time to be a Knicks fan, man. And I just think that we just got to keep this energy going, keep winning. Winning cures all. Knicks just got to keep winning. And keep feeding the fan base some wins and some good food for thought. And I think sky the limit for going forward, man. But I'm as excited that you guys go down there and check out the Real Buzz. Me and CT got the Real Buzz thing popping off from a video perspective, man. Y'all get these videos when we launch them. Listen to the content, and and enjoy the Nick fandom, man. We bringing this from a fan for the fans, but this is the Real Buzz. CT, the streets of other divine, Knicks real talk, man. We catch you guys on the next episode for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for the support, everyone. We'll see you soon. Peace.